All right, here's our warm up. Hey, I need everybody listening. Here's our warm up, okay? I gave you x equals 3 and x equals -1/4. What are those called? Solutions. What else are they called?
Zeros.
Zeros and
Roots.
roots. Very good. And if you don't know those words on your test, I will walk away. So Miss Jensen, I'm going to make her walk away if you ask, what is a root? Okay, you got to know what those mean. So if I have a solution of x equals 3, how do I write the x-intercept? 3, 0. And if I have x equals -1/4, how do I write that as an x-intercept? Very good. This is the only thing that can have a fraction. Nothing else. No factors, no equations can have fractions. We got to get rid of our fractions. Okay? So I take my factor, x equals 3. And or my solution, x equals 3, and I have to make it a factor. How do I make something a factor? Not yet. How do I make it? Has to be equal to 0. How do I make it equal to 0? Subtract 3 on both sides. X minus 3 equals 0. I need all eyes because this is the part that was not on very few people's papers. I am asking, what is the factor? So if x minus 3 equals 0, what is the factor? X minus 3. That has to be written under factors. Okay? So let's go do the next one. X equals -1/4. Can't have a fraction. How do I get rid of a fraction? What am I multiplying by? By 4, because that's what's in my denominator, both sides. What is 4 times x? Equals, what's left over? -1. Why do these go away? Because that was the whole point of multiplying, right? So equals -1. I still have to get this to equal 0. So what do I have to do? Add 1 to both sides. So I have 4x plus 1 equals 0. What is my factor? 4x plus 1. Quadratic equation. What do I now do with my two factors?
Well, you do the little thing you thought it was a square.
You FOIL, you multiply. Or yes, you can use the box method I taught you. Okay, so what am I going to multiply first? X times 4x is, what do I multiply next? X times 1 is 1x. Then I have to do it again with the -3. -3 times 4x is why is my board not working? 12x. And then -3 times 1 is, which ones can I combine? The 1x and the -12x. So I have 4x squared minus 11x minus 3. Let's see who really understands this. If I were to graph this equation, how many x-intercepts would it have? 2. What are the 2 x-intercepts it will have?
4x.
No. 3, 0, and what's the other x-intercept? -1/4. We are taking our x-intercepts and finding the equation that's used to graph. So this graph, if you plug it in your calculator, should cross the x-axis at 3 and -1/4. That's the whole point of this. Okay, maybe. All right, so we are taking notes today. I highly suggest you either put it in your spiral or you put a piece of paper and staple it to your packet. Whichever way you choose is up to you, okay? So this is Unit 5. And today we are going to learn the greatest common factor. You learned this in 6th grade, in 7th grade, in 8th grade, in 9th grade, in 10th grade, and if you're a senior, in 11th grade. So I am not moving at a snail's pace today, okay? So the date, 10/20, if I were you, I'd make sure you understand that this is in your packet. That way you know where our work is. It's in your packet. You have a test. Your test is next Friday over everything in the packet. So your test is Friday, the 29th, over everything in a packet, okay? When I say greatest common factor, what does that mean to us? What's the greatest common factor? Well, what does greatest mean? So it's the biggest or the largest. Common, what's common? They share, they have the same. So it's the biggest, it's the same. And what's a factor? The things you multiply. So the numbers you multiply. So the greatest common factor is the biggest, the same number that you multiply. I'm going to show you how to break it down. If you don't need to break it down, that's fine. That's your choice, okay? All right, so we're going to do 3 examples. Example 1. I ask you to find the GCF. What's GCF stand for? Greatest common factor of 24 and 36. So before I can find the greatest, I need to know all the factors. So I'm going to make 2 tables, one for 24 and one for 36. Factors, things you multiply, go in order. So 24, I know 1 times 24 gives me 24. What's the next thing that can give me 24? 2 times 12. What's next? 3 times 8 and 4 times 6. How do I know my table is done? Because it'll start repeating. So if I go to 5, can 5 times anything give me 24? So 6. But I already have that, right? So I know my table is done. So get your numbers for 36 and look up to check if we have the same. Go in order. So just copy mine. You've got to know. If you don't know your multiplication, you better get an IXL and start practicing. Use your calculator if you need to. So go to your next number. What's your next number? What? That's what has to do. You're missing a number in your 36. Yes. All right, everybody have our tables? Okay. All right, so now let's start here. What numbers do they have the same? They have 1, 2, 3, what else? 4, what else? 6, what else? 12. So those are all the numbers they have the same, but GCF means the greatest. What's the greatest number they have the same? Stop. One number they have the same. That is the greatest. So 12 is the greatest common factor. I can divide both of these numbers by 12. Okay. All right, let's do another one. What if I ask for the GCF of 14, 56, and 63? How many tables are you gonna have to make me? 3 tables. So get making on the tables. No, that's not right. 3. Oh.
Can you get a calculator on this? Going to do 56 divided by 3.
What's 5 plus 6?
11.
Is 11 divisible by 3?
No.
Then here's 56.
But how does that make sense? 5 plus 6.
That's your divisibility rules you learned in 6th grade.
Oh man, that was years ago.
Actually, they're learning it in 4th grade now. They will too come April.
Me? What?
We're gonna do long division with letters by hand.
No. I barely know.
When you get your tables, check with mine and then circle everything they have the same. And we want the greatest.
Makes sense.
Let's go. You can't even do long division with numbers because you're not doing it. Let's go. Circle. What numbers do I have the same? 1. Is 2 the same?
Yes.
No. Why is 2? Can I not circle 2? It's not in all 3 of them. Okay. What else is in all 3 of them? 7. Anything else? So what is my greatest common factor? 7. Very good. All right, we're going to do one more. Let's see, I think I can put it down here. All right, last example, then you're going to do some by yourself. What if I ask you for 20 x squared y? 24 x squared y squared and 30 x cubed y squared. So the first thing you should be doing is making me a chart just for your numbers. So everybody make me charts for your numbers. Everybody make me charts for your numbers. Don't just copy mine. That's not learning how to do it. If you don't understand, then ask. We can come help you make your charts. your charts. Don't copy your charts. Check them. The better you can make these charts, the easier this unit will be for you. We're gonna make these charts every day from now till next Friday. I will teach you letters just a minute. I just need everybody to get their numbers. Okay? Everybody get their numbers. It doesn't matter what side of the table it's on. Okay? So if I have a 2 on this side and a 2 on this side, they're still the same number. Okay? So yes, you are correct. All right, does everybody have our numbers? We need one more minute. Yes, Miss Bailey, go, Miss Bailey. All right, I need everybody's eyes to look at how to do the letters. So first of all, let's pick out our number. What's the greatest number? They all have the same. 2. Okay, so I know that it's 2. Watch how easy these letters are. X squared means I have how many x's? 2 x's and 1 y. The 24 has an x squared. How many x's do I have? And how many y's? X cubed means I have 3 x's and how many y's? Every single table has to give the exact same thing. So if they have 2 x's, 2 x's, and 3 x's, what's the most everybody can give? So I have 2 x's come out of every single table. Let's look at my y's. How many y's can every table give? So I only have 1 y from every table. So how do I write my answer? What was my greatest common number? 2 x squared. Why x squared? They gave 2 x's and then how many y's? 1 y. Was that hard? Okay. Told you. All right, so in your packet, you should have the first 3 pages done, like front, back, front. Those should be done. If not, I highly suggest we keep working on them, okay? The next page should look like this. I'd write today's date on it, Wednesday, October 20th. This is what you are doing in class today. It starts with 12 and 18. Okay. This is what we are doing. This page, front and back, or side and side, however yours is stapled. So everybody should be working on these 2 pages. I had a very good question earlier, and that was, if I already know the GCF, do I have to make these tables? No, you don't have to. That's up to you, okay? I will tell you that 12, 24, and 36 are very common numbers you're going to have to make tables for. So what might be a good idea? To make those tables at the very top so you have them no matter what your problem is. That's up to you. But 12, 24, and 36, you better be able to give me those factors very, 36, thank you, I'm sorry. 36, better be able to give me those factors super quick, okay? So finishing Mondays, if you didn't finish Mondays, Or moving on to Tuesdays, those of you who said I didn't give you fractions, I suggest you go in there and find those fractions to practice.